how's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be installing some LED headlights and some other LED lights on my 2003 Saab 9.3. So as you can tell right now, this car has the factory halogen lights, and well, you know, there's a few reasons why I want to replace these with LEDs, but the main reason being just the sheer brightness. These halogen bulbs are not very good at night. I mean, they'll get the job done, but they're not very good. So replacing it with LEDs will not only make them much brighter, they'll also be white, they'll look a lot more modern, and they're also going to last way longer. Unfortunately, these LED lights are not plug and play. You can't just put in an LED headlight and it works fine in the car and, you know, you can go on your merry way. Unfortunately, that's not how it works with these 9.3s. That's where today's sponsors come into play. I actually have, for the first time on the channel, two sponsors for this video. The first one being Bossla. Bossla is the company who sent me out these LED headlight bulbs. So this is a set of H7 bulbs. You can see them right here. We'll get them out more in a second and look at them. And then I also have these. I got these years ago. These are some license plate lights, and these are some reverse lights. Unfortunately, the fog lights for these cars are a little bit weird. They're hard to find, especially in LEDs, so I'm not going to be doing the fog lights today, but who knows, maybe in the future. So if you're interested in these headlights or any sort of LED products for your Saab, make sure to check out Bossla. They will be linked down below in the description. But that brings me to the second sponsor of today's video, which is MapTune, a longtime sponsor of my cars and the channel. And they've recently come out with a new app, you could say, for their MapTuner X that is called the LED Enabler app. When we first plug in these LEDs, I'll show you when the car's on, they'll run fine, but as soon as you turn the car off or the headlights off, all the bulbs do is flicker. Every 3 or 4 seconds, they'll just flicker on and off real quick, and it's very annoying. It's, you know, not something that you really want to have in your car. So basically what MapTune's LED Enabler is, and I'll show you guys exactly how to use this when the time comes later in the video, is it gets rid of that. It makes these LED lights function exactly as these halogen lights do without having to add any sort of resistors or extra wiring, because as you guys probably know, the mods I like to do to my cars are plug and play mods. Mods where I don't have to run wires or cut stuff up or do anything like that. Mods that are easily reversible. So that's the great thing about the MapTune LED Enabler, is we can literally just plug these bulbs in, do a little bit of fiddling around on the MapTuner X, and it'll work. So if you guys are interested in checking out or purchasing the LED Enabler app or a MapTuner X or anything from MapTune, as you guys know, they have plenty of aftermarket stuff for our Saabs. Check out their website. I will link the LED Enabler app, though, in the description box. I did take some clips that night of the stock halogen bulbs, so at the end of the video I will be comparing the halogen bulbs to the LEDs at night so we can see how big of a difference they make. But without further ado, let's go ahead, get into it, and get these LED bulbs installed. We're going to start with the headlights because, well, that's the exciting one, or I mean the most exciting one. So we're going to start by just popping off this rubber cover for the low beam, and then we can reach back in here and twist out our stock light. We can just pull this out of the socket here. Here we have our H7 LED. So there's just a little, it almost looks like a mini wall socket pretty much, that plugs straight into the stock headlight right here. And then of course this other half will just go straight into the headlight. So before we put them back in, I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll show you guys what I mean when I say that they flicker when the car is off. So car is off, headlight switch is off, and you can see this is really starting to get annoying already, and it's only been on there for a couple minutes. But you can see they're blinking just every couple of seconds, but when I go to actually put the switch on, it hurts your eyes to look at. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is extremely bright. So I guess now the job, okay, I shouldn't have looked straight into that. The job, I hope the car's in frame because I'm not looking in that direction. Our next task is to actually put these inside the headlight housing itself. So here we have our stock connector, and you'll see this ring with 3 tabs on it on the outside of the connector, and this is actually what holds the bulb into the headlight. So with the stock halogen light, it fits in there perfectly, and that's fine. Because these LEDs have this extra wiring on it, we can't just plug it in and use this same bracket. So we have to be a little bit creative with our solution. So I'm going to pop this ring off the connector. You can see that right in there, there are just 2 little tabs There's one on each side that you just have to gently pop off with a flathead, and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do. I actually picked up 2 more of these to make sure that they work, because with how hard these were to find, I couldn't find them at junkyards anywhere, and the only place I could find them new, they were about $30 a piece. So if you want the part number, it's right there on the bottom, just in case you're going to buy new ones instead of reusing yours and cutting them up. But basically what I did is I got rid of this middle section right here, so it now looks like this. First thing we need to do is pop off this silver ring right here, and you can see the old holder, which would now go on top of here. It's just not wide enough, it's too thin on the inside to fit over that bulb. So when we cut this out, we can now slide this over here and then go ahead and put our silver ring back on. And you'll notice on this particular bulb it's a little bit loose, so I am just going to push down on it, and eventually if you just fit it right, you can get it so it's nice and tight on there. So I actually ended up flipping this ring around so that way I could get it down far enough so it's on here. You'll actually notice that this one is cracked right here, but that's fine, it should still work. So now that is on there nice and tight, that's not moving anywhere, and we should be good to put it back in the car. We can just plug this into our old connector down here and then drop it in. I wanted to update you guys, it's been about 30 minutes. You might have seen when I took off my old clips for the 2 headlights, one of them was broken. This old tab has literally 0 functioning clips. So what I had done in the past, I think my dad had initially done it when I bought the car years ago, is pretty much put some wire around it to hold it into place. So I ended up putting the one that has the broken tab on that side for that reason. And it took me a long time to get it in there and get it right. That's not because of the LED bulbs or anything, it's just the fact dealing with the broken clips and everything. So yeah, I took out the air box, but it's in there. I'll go ahead and turn on the light now. Ignore the cicada noise if you can hear them, but here you go. So that is pretty dang bright. Normally you wouldn't have to take off the airbox to do that, but just because of the situation I had, it made it easier, gave me more room and more visibility with it. So you can see both of them are in. It doesn't appear to be coming up on camera just because the flashes are so quick. Oh, there it was. It's flashing every couple of seconds on each side, but when I turn the headlights on, that is going to make such a big difference at night, and it just makes the car look so much more modern. I'm so excited about this. So now let's go ahead and head to the back of the car. I'm going to put all these trays and airbox back in like I said, and then we'll do the reverse lights and the license plate lights. I think I'm going to start with the reverse lights because that's just going to be a little bit more involved. So obviously when you do this, you want to make sure you replace the right bulb. So you have your rear fog light right here, you have your actual brake lights on the outside right here, and then you have your turn signal. So this small bottom one is your reverse light. In order to gain access to that, you need to remove this carpeting on the inside here. So they are just a bunch of these little push pin things right here, whatever you want to call them. There's probably about 8 or 10 of them, and then you have your grab handle for the trunk. Those are just 2 T30 screws. To get these push pins out, instead of just trying to pry them off and breaking them, what you want to do is push the little centerpiece in. I'm just going to use the same Torx because that fits in there, and then it just comes right out. With all those out, we can pull our carpeting off. If you really want to, you can unhook your emergency trunk lease. I'm not going to, just because it's an extra step and I have perfect access to it just by doing this. But you can see your fog light. If you have ice blocks, your fog light's going to be red. If not, it's just going to be clear like this. And then you have your reverse light is going to be the clear one down here. All you have to do is twist it a little bit and it comes straight out. So here's a nice comparison between our LED new bulb and our old just lame non-LED bulb. So this, similar to the old bulb, you should just press in, twist it, and it's easy as that. And you can see it's already starting to flash every couple seconds, which means it works. So I guess for now that's a good sign. There's 2 on each light. They are just T10 screws. They're very small and oftentimes they're corroded, so be careful with them. And to get it off, what I do is just kind of stick the Torx in there in the screw hole and just pull it. It just comes right off. It's like a little light show. They all blink at different times. Very interesting. Actually, the 2 license plate ones are in sync, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, now I need to show you guys how to program these so they don't flicker. So this is my Map Tuner X. I first showed this in a video when I actually tuned this car and I bought one. So click that up here in the top corner if you want, but this is a great tool to have for things like this or tuning your car and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to get into in this video. But you can see car is off, headlights are flashing, the back lights are flashing. So what we need to do is use the LED enabler app on this. So let's hop in the car. Now when you buy this enabler app per VIN per car. So basically how it works is like when you buy a tune for your car, I don't actually have a check engine light, just ignore that. You give them your VIN, they send you a file for your car. So I can't put the tune that's on this car on another 2.0. It's made specifically for this VIN. So same thing kind of goes for the LED enabler app, but let's plug that in here. We can power up our Map Tuner X. One other thing I do want to mention is that it's also giving me a right low beam failure and a left low beam failure. Now you can see I have the LED enabler app. I also have the data logger and some other stuff. I might mess with these other apps in the future for another video. Let me know if you want to see that. But we click on the LED enabler app, and now you can see it just pulls up a picture of the car. This is very simple, and you can see that there are a bunch of different options. So what we have is our reverse light. That's kind of cool. I click it and it lights up. We have our low beam, and we have our license plate rear. So you can see that with this you can also do your front fog lights, your front position lights, and your high beam. So LED high beams, probably not super necessary. That's why I kind of just did the low beams, because those are your headlights that are on all the time. And then we hit save changes. So it's going to write the code for this real quick, send it to the car. There we go, successfully installed. So we can hit OK. We should be able to go home now, and we should be all good. So let's try just starting the car here. And there we go, check OK, out of focus, but that means that we have no error lights. So my headlights are off right now. Let's turn them on. See the headlights come on. So there we go, guys, they're successfully programmed. Obviously they worked before, but watch, now when I turn the lights off, they are not going to flicker, which is just how it should be. So I'm going to go ahead, wait till the sun sets now. I've already recorded footage of what the halogen lights looked like. So catch up with you guys a little bit later. So here's my comparison between the stock halogen bulbs and the LEDs that I just installed. So first off, here we have a picture at night with the LEDs. You can just see from the front here how much brighter they are when compared to the halogens. The temperature of the bulb itself is what you can really tell. Then looking down the street, you can see the LED just lights up the whole road a lot better than the halogens, whereas the halogens kind of die off after a short period. Here are the license plate lights, again, just much brighter, easier to see than the halogens, which are much more dim and not as bright. And then here's a shot of just how bright those LEDs are. They're actually shining on the ground pretty significantly. Here's a more close-up view of it. Just again kind of showing the difference in the bulb temperature. And then here's a shot of the LED reverse lights. I didn't get one of these with the halogens, unfortunately, but as I'm sure most of you know, the halogen reverse lights aren't very bright, and those are bright enough to light up the wall behind me. And speaking of brightness, I do want to also mention that I posted this on Facebook. I had some people, I shouldn't say some, I had 1 or 2 people mention that they're too bright, and I think that's a very dumb comment to make, if I'm honest, because many new cars today have LEDs, and so long as your LEDs aren't pointed up or in the eyes of other people, as you can see mine are not, you shouldn't have an issue. So with that being said, guys, that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give it a like if you did, and be sure to check out MapTune for the LED enabler app, and also Bossla for some LED bulbs if you're looking to do this same project on your Saab. So see y'all next time.